dark in this bitch. I had to cut some lights on. But it's part two, man. My testimony. So, like I was saying, in the '90s, that shit hit the city like wildfire, man. Like that shit spread it out. Everybody was fuck out. Not everybody, but every hood was washed out with that shit basically. Just like the Tucci shit, like the young motherfuckers doing now. Everybody snorting that coke, thinking that shit is cool. Snorting that coke and popping pills. So back then, that stank shit, that was shit that was everybody was on. So niggas went through that shit, man. 15 through 17, that's when I really got on, police radar and shit, man. Motherfuckers chasing a nigga in cars and shit. Dolphin rentals. Fucking with us on the gang shit, man. Fucking with us at the clubs. Teen clubs, teenage clubs. They had teenage clubs back then. Fucking with us at the clubs, man. Nigga in and out of jail, man. Like, that shit was just starting to get crazy. This little city shit. 17, ended up getting mixed up in the fucking murder case. Kicked in the spot and shit. Took all of us to jail. And come to find out, we thinking it's just thinking somebody got caught a cell case or some shit. Motherfuckers looking for murder suspects. They started letting everybody go and shit. Niggas' names getting called, they leaving. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm about to be out this bitch too. Next shit. Especially because, the juvenile niggas, the young niggas is going first. It's like two older niggas, they grown though. And they're left to me. They call them niggas before me. I'm like, damn, okay. Maybe I'm next then. Maybe I gotta warn or something. Motherfuckers. Brought the boo up to me like, boo, we got two people saying you did this murder. So, anyway, come to find out, they convinced or talk somebody or persuade two people that was supposed to be witnesses. They persuaded them to say it was me, or talked them into saying it was me, and then it came down to them saying that it came down to them saying they pointed me out because of my starter jacket. I had a big red cheap starter jacket, like didn't nobody else have that motherfucker. I remember robbing a nigga for that motherfucker. sorry, God, but I remember jacking a nigga for that starter jacket though. But that's why I took it, cause I ain't seen no more like that motherfucker. It was a big ass red cheap starter jacket and shit. Well, I was letting all different kind of motherfuckers wear it. We was swapping jackets all the time. We didn't give a fuck about that shit. So I ain't no telling who had that jacket at the time. So anyway, had me down that motherfucker, 17 years old, fucked up my little high school shit. Even though I was skipping school and shit like that, wasn't really in school anyway. At the 11, they had me in there on $100,000 bond, maybe $150,000. It was either $100,000 or $150,000 bond. And fuckers came to me talking about a plea, snatch a plea for 25 to life. I'm like, you fuckers crazy as a motherfucker. That's your first plea too? Are you fucking kidding me? I ain't did none of this shit. I ain't about to take no fucking plea. Long story short, 11 months, they had to drop the case and shit, or dismiss the case. But the motherfuckers sure hit me with some dope charges and shit. So I ended up leaving that motherfucker, had to go to Lee's. Do some time in Lee's and shit. Anyway, so going past that, nigga happy to be out of jail, county jail shit. I could have sued the fucking city for false imprisonment. I could have did a lot of that shit, but I didn't do it because I was so happy. I just turned 18. And I was happy to be out and shit and trying to get my shit, together and because the nigga was on paper. I was on probation now, so had to be careful and shit. Keep a job and always going to see him once a week, going to see a PO and all that shit, man. So, 18 to 20, constantly being harassed by the police, man, in and out of the city jail. Niggas going to jail like 2 or 3 times a week, man. They just hit the block looking for a nigga, man. As soon as they see me, they jumping out chasing the nigga. All the time, man. Like, I used to be embarrassed and shit, motherfucker. All the neighbors and shit, seeing the nigga getting tackled down and shit like that, man. Going to jail every fucking 2 or 3 days. This on constant harassing the nigga, man. So finally, Highland became a real $1 million spot, really. There was so many people hustling on Highland, you know what I mean, in competition with each other though. I feel like even though all of us was family and all of us was partners and shit, it became a competition. It was no organization, it was just every man for themselves, you know what I mean? It wasn't no group of shit. It was every dude for themselves on that bitch. And so, there's a lot of competition, a lot of hating and shit, backstabbing type shit going on, man. Never get shot in the hand and shit on Highland. I still got the holes in my fingers and shit. Yeah. Trying to get the gun back out of the nigga hand, man. Trying to take the gun back from the motherfucker. Get a gun out of the nigga hand. Anyway, high speed chases and shit, man. Like I said, it became, like I said, every man for themselves, everybody hustling, trying to compete for the customers and shit that was coming in the block. That motherfucker that was like Taco Bell, nigga, on Friday night, nigga. That motherfucker used to be clocking. And, everybody know Highland, nigga. If you know Highland from the 90s, nigga, if you ever been on Highland, if you from the 50s, or anybody that hung around on Highland or in the 50s, nigga, you know how that motherfucker used to hit. Motherfucker be wrapped around the block, nigga. Motherfucking car chain. But, you got your finks, you got your snakes, your rats, rat ass niggas, your snitch ass niggas, big shit snitch ass, punk motherfuckers, motherfuckers, get in trouble and don't want to hold their own weight. and start talking, tell them, and set motherfuckers up, shit like that. Don't know who got set up, don't know how many people got set up, don't know who snitched, none of that shit, but of course there's a lot of that shit going on, right? A lot of backstabbing shit. Shit, I lost my best friend Kenny Wayne at age 15. Forgot about that. Age 15, yeah. Lost my homie. That was my best friend at the time, man. 15 years old. And as the shit go on and shit, niggas, hitting licks, buying shit, buying cars, renting dope fiend rentals, going to the club and shit like that. All that shit became habit. Moved down the hilltop, down 12th and Ewing, ran around through there, all through the east side, 12th, 27th Street, 17th Street, 23rd Street, all through Hilltop and Blue Valley, a little bit in Blue Valley, and it was mostly Crips over there, so didn't go over there too much. One of my family members stayed over there at one point, so I used to be over there every now and then. I remember on the weekend, on Fridays, going out, jumping on anybody we saw was in blue, call it Beat a Crip Ass Friday, some shit like that, some stupid shit like that. Running around and shit, just jumping on motherfuckers and shit that was in blue, you thought it was Crips. Remember, banging with, all the different sets of Crips that was around the neighborhood, that surrounded our neighborhood and further down. I remember all the gang shit, man. Stayed on 39th Street for a minute, 35th Street, stayed right off Prospect, 39th and Prospect, 38th and Prospect, stayed off Bell Fountain, Chestnut, ran all through that motherfucker and shit, in the 90s, mid-90s, when the No Limit shit was really pumping and that stanky shit was really, had the city sweating. You know what I'm saying? Had the city straight up sweating. Living on 45th, right off the sale. Remember the sale, when the sale shit was popping, nice money section. "39th to, 39th to 45th Street. Sale was popping. Remember standing on the bus stops and shit on Prospect and shit. Niggas just stay on the bus stop and hustle all day. That shit was crazy, man. What else, man? Remember living on 67th Street? Out there for a minute. Moving to Grandview, way out like 140 something. Staying out that way, fucking with Grandview. Fuck with Grandview for a minute. Man, so yeah, I stay all through the city, man. All up and down the city, man. All up and down the city. From down north to out south, to the east, from the east side to the west side. So, as all that shit went on, 18, 19, all that shit, all the hustle shit, man, the dope gang shit. Nigga was, involved with the gang shit. I, uh, I took all that shit serious, man. All the gang shit. I took that shit to heart, man. I repped that shit everywhere I went, every club I went. You know what I'm saying? Every hood I went through. But I was a respectful nigga at the same time, so I had a lot of respect from a lot of different people too. And plus, being there, nigga was in and out of jail, meeting a lot of different niggas in jail from different sets and different areas, so I was, always type of nigga that knew niggas from different areas, you know what I mean? Because I lived all over this motherfucker. And so, like I said, all this should have been a book. I just want to really give a summary and give people an idea of the shit. My parents have brought me here today, but I got a reason for this. So stick with me to the last video. And so through all that shit, man, boom, boom, boom. Like I said, being harassed by the police, going to jail and strip 2 or 3 times a week, block competition, and all that shit. So when a nigga was telling motherfuckers like, man, it's hard for a nigga to get a fucking job, man. These motherfuckers don't want to let a nigga get a good job and this and that. And motherfuckers like, nigga, I hear you saying that, but I know all kind of people on parole, on paper to get good jobs, and they start telling you the jobs they know that they heard is hard to hire felons and shit like that, right? And I should be like, yeah, but that don't got nothing to do with me though. They treat everybody differently, you know what I mean? Like, it's some shit like your name, man, and the shit that you got behind your name makes a bit of difference, and it's different for everybody. I don't give a fuck if they hire this dude because he on parole, but they hire him. That don't mean they gonna hire me. We all different, and they treat us all differently by the different cases and different situations and whatever the fuck, on our background, right? And it's more to that too. It goes more into a spiritual thing, right? So it's beyond this third dimensional realm that we living on, right? But when we speaking on this third dimensional realm, though, in the physical form, right? We saying that just like in Hollywood, people get blackballed, people get pushed out to where they can't get no work no more. You know what I'm saying? When nobody hire them because somebody say that this motherfucker in the black book. You can't even come to Vegas. You in the black book. You better not get caught down here. Shit like that. Like Hollywood, like I said, they blackball people when you can't work no more. Do you think that shit is only in Hollywood? That shit everywhere, man. We ain't separated from Hollywood. This all this whole world is connected. So it ain't like they just doing that shit to the famous people. No, they do that to small people too, everyday people. You gotta think about the officials, the governments and shit like that. It's all intertwined and connected. That shit goes from the top, from the peak of the fucking pyramid down to the bottom. And so, for people that don't think, why it's so hard for you to get a job and for you to get something, you always complaining about getting a job. And I know so many other people that do get jobs. That don't mean shit when it comes to this spiritual shit, this spiritual warfare. the as above, so below. You know what I mean? Like everything that's going on down here is going on up there. So everything that's going up there is going on down here. So if you're having a battle down here between, say, dark and light, good and bad, or good and evil, these people, there are people down here on this earth that has no good in them, right? Or mean no good, saying they're down here for a purpose, a selfish purpose, right? And do some dark things to get ahead and get advanced and so on and so forth. I'll talk about that in the end, but I was trying to get to the fact that it's people that get blackballed everywhere, no matter how small you might think you are, from the blue collar people all the way up to the professionals and the politicians, the fucking armies and all the different officials, all the way down to the fucking grocery store worker, to the liquor store worker, to the fucking line cook, all the way down to the fucking cashier and the gas station attendant. Everybody. It don't matter what rank level you is. If you a person that they don't want to see do good, or they want to fuck with you in a way that fuck with your livelihood, the first thing a person would do to fuck with somebody's livelihood is to take their money away, right? Or to take the way that they make their money away, right? So let's move forward though. So when I was saying like, okay, so damn, why is it hard? I used to be like, damn, I'm on parole. Is that the reason why it's so hard for me to get a job and shit like that? Like, boom, motherfuckers used to be like, man, the shit I was just saying, right? So moving forward, and they go to jail, go to prison. On some dope charges and shit. Not cell cases, no cell cases, shit like that. None of that, trafficking, possessions and shit. And so, I think it was like 21, maybe 22, going on 22, something like that. Boom. Go to court for the drug shit. Motherfucking prosecutor tried to give me 33 years. For I think 6 charges. She trying to give me 33 years. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? 33 years? I'm like, hell nah. So anyway, long story short, the judge was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. She wanted all the shit running consecutive, you know what I'm saying? 3 5s, 2 6s, and 2 3s, you know what I'm saying? She wanted all that shit running consecutive. He's like, nah, I run all that shit concurrent, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up having a 6-year bid, did 3 years and shit. But anyway, so boom, nigga do the 3 years, going through all kind of shit, sitting in that process with money and shit. Motherfuckers coming borrowing money, motherfuckers taking money, motherfuckers taking shit, you know what I mean? Losing shit out while, just losing shit while I'm locked up and shit like that. Get out, fuck around in the honor center. Fuck around, came back drunk one day, pissed off and shit 'cause somebody stole a nigga car. out all day looking for the motherfuckers, so I just got drunk like fuck it. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck it, I'm pissed off. Long story short, nigga got sent back. I had to go back and do a 4 month treatment and shit. Boom. Go do a 120-day treatment. Inpatient. Right next to the prison. So while I'm in there, get the news my brother get killed and shit. Clocking out. And that motherfucker clocking out, right? On the phone and shit. They catch a nigga phone calls and shit, come lock a nigga up, throw me in the hole. Making threat calls or whatever. So boom. So I end up getting out the hole. They wouldn't let me go to the funeral and shit though. Wouldn't let me go to the funeral. Boom, 9/11 hit. Motherfucking planes crashed into the shit. Then like a week later I get out. I'm on, I'm on a mission. You know what I'm saying? That mission ended up coming up empty, right? And I'm glad it did. I wouldn't be here today, you know what I'm saying? Free out here talking and shit, so. Things happen for a reason, man, so, I just started talking to God and like I'm gonna leave all up to you. I'm gonna keep on pushing and do something different. I end up, running to a female, not running into one, I end up meeting a female that became a big part of my life. You know what I mean? End up, being in a relationship or being with that female over 5 years. That kind of kept me out the street, you know what I mean? Kept a nigga out the street, really. Kept a nigga from, doing a lot of fucked up shit, even though I was still doing, some fucked up shit, you know what I mean? Kept me from doing a lot of fucked up shit, though. But after that long stretch with her, and shit, going, kind of south, went our own ways and shit. After a while, and so before that split, though, I had jumped into music. And I think that was another thing that was kind of getting between that, money wise and shit like that, man. He was spending most money he was making on trying to make an album and shit, make a CD, and, promotion and doing all the other different shit I was trying to do for myself. Spending money and shit, having no my side of the rent and my side of the bills and shit like that, right? Or just coming up with some or half, or coming up hella late with it, you know what I'm saying? Just basically more focused on getting that music done and shit and spending all my money on that shit and really kind of lost track, man, of the relationship and the family shit and my responsibilities and all the other shit, right?